Hey yo, what up with it? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Hoodie, and I'm sure by now everybody done pretty much heard about how Francis Ngannou got robbed in his most recent boxing match against Tyson Fury. And just like I'm sure most people feel, I am sick and tired of boxing events ending in this way. Unpopular opinion, I've never really believed in Tyson Fury. You know, he is gigantic, but ever since that first fight with Deontay Wilder, where he actually laid on the canvas for longer than 10 seconds. If you don't believe me, I will play it. But he was on the canvas for longer than 10 seconds and no one cared. You know, we just continue to let it go, and it's things like this that just ruin the sport of boxing as a whole. You know, leading up to this fight, everybody and their mama believed that Tyson Fury was gonna outbox and out-technical Francis Ngannou around every single corner in that boxing ring, but that was not the case. In the 8th round, Francis actually dropped him. Now ask yourself, how many heavyweights do you know? How many world champ heavyweights do you know that has touched the canvas more times than Tyson Fury? I've never believed in him, not for 1 second, not from the first time I was introduced to him to his most recent fight. I've never believed in him. His biggest asset in the ring is his size, but as far as skill, I haven't seen it. You know, and I know that that's a very unpopular opinion just because of who he is, and a lot of people like to meat pull a lot, especially once someone becomes a champion, you know what I'm saying? But if you take your bias out of it, if you take out how much you don't like Deontay Wilder and a bunch of other fighters that Tyson Fury has gone up against, if you take out all of those extra things and just look at it from the standpoint of, you know, a lover of the sport, I can't really see how a lot of people are huge fans of Tyson Fury, you know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. Francis Ngannou was most definitely robbed in that fight. And as we all know, going back for decades, there's been so much under the table money passed around with boxing, you know what I mean? You really can't trust everything at first glance when it comes to boxing. It's very unfortunate that Francis Ngannou couldn't get the W, and you know, everyone watching the fight believed that he won that. Not only did Francis drop Tyson Fury, he surprised everyone with his actual boxing skill, and he surprised Tyson Fury with the amount of power that he brought into the ring. Tyson Fury was not expecting that. I believe that the second that he felt Francis's power, he was forced to change his whole entire game plan in the ring. And that may be why, you know, he got outboxed, you know. But now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Francis Ngannou is, you know, the better fighter automatically. You know, all you need is that one punch. But if you watch the entire fight, I was not impressed with Tyson Fury's performance, not at any moment within the fight. A blind man could see that Francis Ngannou won that. He was robbed, and we all know it. And millions of people are sick and tired of seeing major boxing matches end in this fashion. You know what I mean? It's not fair to the fighter. It's definitely not fair to Francis Ngannou, who came from the UFC and stepped into this boxing ring with the current world champ heavyweight, and it was robbed from him, and that's very, very unfortunate. When I look at his skills, when I look at his speed, yeah, he's fast for a big guy, but his biggest asset is just his size. He's used to putting that weight on other boxers in the ring, and it just did not work with Francis Ngannou, man. That's a very, very huge man, bro. And it didn't go down the way that Tyson Fury really wanted it to. He know he didn't win that fight. His trainers know he didn't win that fight. The referee knows he didn't win that fight, and the judges, above everything else, knows that Tyson Fury did not win that fight. And if you read the comments under all the videos and posts and everything on Instagram, for a lot of people, this was the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to watching major boxing events, because there's just so much shadiness with the judges. And it's very unfortunate that Francis Ngannou happened to be on the other side of that stick last night. That was a crazy loss, and I would love to see a part 2. I believe that the next time they fight, if Francis gets more hours in the boxing ring, gets to hone in on the skills a whole lot more, I think that the next time they fight, it's going to be a crazy upset. The only way that Francis can grab the W in the next fight is to leave nothing else on the table. Leave no doubt. When you drop him, lay him down for good. But that also brings me to my next topic. You know what I mean? If you think back to the first time when Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder, he was down for longer than 10 seconds. Anyone with eyes could see that. If you go back and watch that fight, pull your time out and just time it, he was down for at least 11 or 12 seconds.
He believes Fury benefited from crazy slow count. That's right. After being knocked down by Wilder. Well, he's correct. This is what happened. The referee is supposed to go 1, 2 when the guy goes down. But if for any reason he has to interrupt the count because, like, They're like the fighter, the opponent needs to be told to go to the neutral corner. You're supposed to pick up the count where the ringside counter has it. So there's a guy who's counting ringside, and he'll keep the count going. So if you're at 1, 2, and then you're like, go to a neutral corner, that guy's supposed to be like 3, 4, but he didn't.
Oh.
He went back to it. 3, 4, but the guy had already been down for a couple seconds. Without a doubt, it was a long count.
But the referee paused. He gave him some time to get back up, and that's the type of that people do not like about boxing. You know, everything feels rigged, especially when it comes to major events and major battles like that. On that level, everything feels rigged. You know what I mean? I don't think that the judges expected Francis to drop him. I don't think that Tyson Fury even expected to be dropped by Francis. But he felt that power early on in the fight, and he was forced to change his game plan for the rest of the fight, and it threw him off. So as most of you know, this channel is mostly centered around tech and gaming related topics. So with that being said, I feel like now in 2023, it's time to replace these judges with AI technology. Yeah, a lot of people may still disagree with the judging that could possibly come from an AI judge. But I think that if you replace these judges with AI and just be done with the human aspect of it and the human biasness and all of the other flaws that come with human judges, I believe that this is something that could really save the sport. Now, will this ever happen? I highly doubt it, simply because of all of the money that gets passed under the table within boxing. So no one is willing to give up their job of judging and all of these things that they've been doing for the past 20 years plus, right? But I do believe that in this day and age, you know, the best thing that the sport of boxing could do to prevent things like this from happening again in the future is to replace judges with AI. I'm not sure why we can't just have some sort of complicated camera system above the ring and just teach an AI system to be able to look at the punches, be able to look where they landed, how hard they may have landed, and just be done with judges sitting below the ring on the sideline where they don't have the best view anyway. And then you get outcomes like what happened last night, where majority of boxing fans disagree with the outcome of that fight. So with that being said, I would love to see these judges replaced with some sort of AI technology. You know, I'm not really sure how complicated that would be, but I'm sure there's a lot of smart people that could figure something like that out. And I think that that would make a huge difference when it comes to the sport of boxing. If boxing continues to go down this same path of crazy outcomes from the judges and crazy scorings from the judges, and great boxers continue to get robbed, this is going to further kill the sport of boxing. And I am a boxing fan. I enjoy the UFC, but I've been a boxing fan for a lot longer. I know more boxers, and I just enjoy the sport a lot more. I really feel like if some great minds get together and create an AI system, some sort of complicated camera system, place it above the ring, place it around the ring, whatever you have to do. But I do believe that that would be the best alternative to judges for the sport. If you're watching this video out there and you know you do like this idea, make sure where you heard it first. But there's no reason why we should still be dealing with judges like this in 2023. Yes, boxing is a very old sport and people like to keep things traditional. And I don't see something like that ever happening. But for the other boxing organizations out there, I think that it would be a great idea for them to implement some sort of AI judging system, right? Even if Francis Ngannou would have technically won, I still would have found it very hard for the judges to actually vote in his favor. You know what I'm saying? Simply because he comes from a completely different organization than boxing. I almost expected it to be like that. Before this fight even started, I said to myself, if he wants to win this fight, he cannot leave it up to the judges because it will most definitely not go in his favor. He would have to drop Tyson Fury and leave him unconscious in order to win this fight. But yeah, man, that's all I got for y'all today. That's just my little 2 cents on it, you know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know how y'all feel down in the comments. Do you think that I'm tripping? Would you like to see some sort of AI judges in boxing matches? Or if maybe not completely replace the judges, maybe the AI system could work alongside the judges, you know what I'm saying? Or something at first until the technology gets perfected, because even if it was invented tomorrow, it still may not be at the same level as a human judge quite yet. But if given enough time and enough tweaking to it, I'm sure that over the next 10 or 15 years, probably even a whole lot sooner than that, we could definitely have some sort of AI system to replace judges. And if the powers that be actually want to save the sport of boxing, I believe that we have to get rid of these judges in boxing, because this type of thing happens time and time and time again, and it just further pulls more people away from the sport of boxing, which I love a whole lot. It pulls more people away from the sport of boxing and gets them more interested in things like the UFC. And there's no problem with that, but it's very unfortunate for the great boxers out there. There's going to be a lot of great boxing matches that come up that some people are going to skip because of how this fight played out last night. You know what I'm saying? So, but y'all let me know how y'all feel down in the comments. Am I tripping? Could you ever see some sort of AI system replace judges in boxing? I do believe that is possible. Now, will it happen? Probably not. Probably not in 100 years. If there are some sort of, I wouldn't say off-brand, but just other boxing organizations that would be interested in something like that, I think that would be a great idea for them to implement an AI judge system within the sport of boxing, and that would really help separate them from other boxing organizations, because it would make more people feel a lot more comfortable with the outcome of boxing, with the outcome of these matches. And y'all let me know how y'all feel down in the comments below. That's all I got for y'all today. So until next time, man, peace.